LeBron James' friend Rich Paul gets associated with controversial Washington QB. LeBron James' friend Rich Paul gets associated with controversial Washington QB originally appeared on The Sporting News. Add The Sporting News as a preferred source by clicking here. LeBron James' friend and founder of Clutch Sports Agency, Rich Paul, has reportedly gotten involved with Washington Huskies quarterback DeMond Williams. Paul has taken Williams on despite his latest issue with the program. Locked on Huskies podcast host Lars Henson reported on X that Williams has signed with Paul's sports agency after being dropped by his former agent. The move is surprising because Paul's agency is planning to represent the nil interest of the quarterback, who went back on his contract with Washington in the first place. More. Why DeMond Williams staying at Washington avoided a multi-million-dollar nightmare. What's the deal with LeBron James' friend Rich Paul's new client? Rich Paul has taken on DeMond Williams as his client. The quarterback turned heads after he shared his plans to enter the NCAA transfer portal despite having signed an NIL revenue-sharing deal with Washington. The deal is reported to be in excess of $4 million. After learning about his transfer portal plans, Washington announced their intentions to make Williams honor his contract with them with the help of the law. According to them, the contract was binding in nature. Shortly after, Williams' agent Wasserman Football Agency dropped him as their client because of philosophical differences. Amid the uproar, Williams reversed his transfer portal decision, saying he will honor his contract and play for the Huskies in the 2026 season. After thoughtful reflection with my family, I am excited to announce that I will continue my football journey at the University of Washington, Williams said in a post. I am deeply grateful to my coaches, teammates, and everyone in the program for fostering an environment where I can thrive both as an athlete and as an individual. I am fully committed and focused on contributing to what we are building. With Paul coming into the picture, it will be interesting to see if he can guide the young quarterback to a promising future. More Lakers news. Report. Lakers could be the reason behind a slow NBA trade deadline in 2025-26. NBA legend sounds off on Luka Doncic Dennis Schroeder incident. LeBron James' agent suggests Lakers should make bombshell Austin Reeves trade. Lakers reportedly eyeing Warriors Jonathan Kuminga. Rich Paul has spent most of his adult life standing beside greatness. He has watched LeBron James bend time, defy gravity, and outlast eras. He has negotiated contracts worth billions, navigated boardrooms that once shut him out, and built Clutch Sports from a folding table dream into one of the most powerful agencies in sports. Through it all, Paul has learned one essential truth: proximity to stars guarantees visibility, but it also guarantees controversy. That truth resurfaced the moment his name became linked to Washington's most polarizing quarterback. It wasn't a blockbuster signing in the traditional sense. There were no champagne photos, no glossy press releases announcing a new partnership. Instead, it spread the modern way, through whispers, social media screenshots, and headlines sharpened for clicks. Rich Paul, LeBron James' longtime friend and business confidant, was now associated with a quarterback whose talent sparked debate and whose past sparked outrage. In Washington, a city that devours sports stories like political scandals, the reaction was instant and loud. For Paul, controversy is not unfamiliar territory. He has lived in it since the day critics dismissed him as LeBron's guy, as if loyalty were a flaw rather than a credential. When he entered the agent world without the traditional pedigree, the establishment scoffed. When Clutch disrupted old power structures, they pushed back. When Paul spoke openly about athlete empowerment, he was labeled dangerous. Yet each storm hardened him, teaching him how narratives are formed, and how quickly they turn. The Washington quarterback, meanwhile, represents a different kind of lightning rod. On the field, he is raw, electric, capable of moments that silence stadiums and ignite hope. Off it, his name drags baggage that refuses to fade, arguments that split fanbases into camps of belief and condemnation. To be associated with him is to step into a debate with no neutral ground. You are either enabling redemption or excusing the inexcusable, depending on who's talking. That is the tension Rich Paul willingly walked into. Some saw the association as calculated. Of course Paul would take on a risky client, they said. He thrives on chaos, on challenging the system, on betting where others won't. Others framed it as loyalty to possibility, a belief that young men should not be defined by their worst chapters alone. And then there were those who saw only cynicism, another powerful agent protecting talent at the expense of accountability. But Paul has never been motivated by easy approval. His career has been built on uncomfortable questions. Who gets second chances? Who decides when someone is beyond redemption? And why does talent so often complicate morality? LeBron James once said that Rich Paul understands him because they grew up learning how to survive judgment before they ever learned how to chase dreams. That upbringing, where mistakes followed you like shadows and opportunity rarely waited patiently, shaped Paul's worldview. He knows that America loves redemption stories, but only if they're neat, inspiring, and televised at the right angle. Anything Messier is rejected outright. Washington is messy. Its quarterback situation is messy. Its fanbase is tired of losing and exhausted by headlines that have nothing to do with touchdowns. Into that environment steps Rich Paul, a man whose presence alone turns routine business into cultural commentary. The irony is that Paul himself is not the story, yet he always becomes part of it. Just as LeBron's teammates are judged through their proximity to him, Paul's clients are now viewed through his reputation. If Rich Paul believes in this quarterback, some assume, then there must be a plan. A brand rehabilitation arc. A carefully managed second act. Maybe there is. Or maybe Paul is simply doing what he has always done, betting on people when the odds are uncomfortable. In sports, we often pretend that talent exists in a vacuum. We cheer the throws, the runs, the highlights, while hoping the rest stays conveniently invisible. But real life refuses to cooperate. Athletes carry their pasts onto the field, just as agents carry their philosophies into negotiations. When those paths cross, controversy isn't a byproduct, it's inevitable. Rich Paul knows this. He understands that aligning with a controversial quarterback in Washington won't just test public patience, it will test his own principles. Every misstep will be magnified. Every success will be questioned. And every failure will be framed as proof that some risks should never be taken. Yet if Paul has learned anything from standing beside LeBron James for more than 2 decades, it's that legacy is not built by avoiding criticism. It's built by enduring it. This association will not be judged today or tomorrow. It will be judged years from now, when hindsight decides whether belief was wisdom or blindness. Until then, Rich Paul remains where he has always been, between power and perception, loyalty and scrutiny, betting that growth is possible even when the crowd insists it.